Good evening, everyone. Mats, nice to see you. Thank you for last time. See, am I correct here? I think I am. Like that. How's everyone doing today? Day before Christmas. That's pretty exciting. I hope you're having a pleasant... I'm not really sure what you call day before Christmas, but day before Christmas Day? Hey, Nicole. I actually have my brother, my mother, they're here visiting, so everyone's kind of like around. I just said, okay, now I need to go away for a little while because I need to meet my friends and meditate for a bit. Hey, Christian, nice to see you. I thought it's just before Christmas I really wanted to do this meditation, since it's a good chance to kind of get away a little bit also from everything. Well, everyone's resting now anyway, so that's not a problem. How's everyone been? Are you prepared for Christmas? Hey, Husky Poo. I hope I didn't butcher that name. I have to admit something. Today will be the first time for me ever, I think. Let me just think. Yeah, I can't say that I have ever done this before, but tonight, during today's meditation, you will be witness to the first time ever that I do a guided meditation while drunk. I mean, I'm not really drunk. I could probably drive a car because I just need so little to feel that I drank anything. But I have had a few welcome drinks and some wine to the food. So technically speaking, you're going to be guided by a drunk hobo tonight. Maybe not a hobo, but a drunk guy anyway. So hopefully it won't be too bad. I just thought about if I would have said that when I was a monk, that would have been so, like, absolutely not, you cannot do that, absolutely not. But I highly recommend you to try meditating in different states. Like, in other words, you should definitely try meditating sometime when you're drunk, just to see what the body feels like and how the mind is different kind of when you've been drinking. Because it does feel a bit different, depending on how much you drink, of course. Yeah. Well, it just, I could skip it tonight, but I thought, no, when I like just do it. It doesn't really matter to me, and you guys know me anyway, so you won't notice much of a difference. But I just thought it was funny because when I sat down, like, yeah, I have never done that. I have never guided a meditation drunk before. Not even close, I think, because I almost never drink. Like, we have a glass of wine for the food every now and then. I really enjoy wine. I used to live in France, so I really got to learn how to enjoy red wine. But it's just so rare that I do it. Yeah. So today will be, something different. It is, right? Especially you, JBB. You're going to criticize me saying I'm out partying again. So I feel personally insulted, which is good. Like, I need to work on that ego, kind of. I did think about something about that, how we have these ideas of when we meditate, it's supposed to be so special, so different, and everything has to be in a specific way, instead of actually having it just be natural, like whatever you're experiencing. Cheers to that. A new experience. Yeah, new being. It is a new experience, for me at least. I mean, I have meditated. I remember when I don't think I ever drank while I was a monk. No, I never tried that. I never tried drinking. Is it okay if we drink during the meditation too? Go for it, Christian. I don't mind. Like, really, just try it. People have this idea that it's kind of holy or spiritual to meditate. It's just focusing the mind. And the meditation is just something you do to kind of sharpen the axe, to hone your mind. Bhavana literally means to train the mind, to make it strong and pliable so you can use it in different ways. And you should be able to do that no matter what you're doing. So, I mean, it would be really interesting to go to a nightclub drunk and then, well, maybe not sit and meditate, but actually like try to be aware at a nightclub. I don't actually go to nightclubs anymore. Not really possible with kids, and I'd just fall asleep anyway. But maybe sometime in the future I'll try it, because there would be so many impressions, and it's not about right or wrong. It's all about how do you experience those inputs. And in Theravadan, especially Buddhist Theravadan traditions, they try to limit those inputs. They try to tune everything down. So you go to a center, you're not allowed to talk to people. You don't have any bright colors. You live in a room that's basically a box with preferably gray walls or like just white walls, no color, nothing to stimulate the mind. You go with your eyes downcast. You don't look people in the eye when you walk by them. You don't have revealing clothes or clothes or colorful clothes. You separate male and female. You really make sure that you don't have anything that stimulates the mind. And then from that, you sit down and you start focusing. Now, that's not what life is like for us in daily lives. If you would only practice that, it would be very difficult to bring your awareness from that into your daily life. So it's actually quite useful to try different things. I can come up with quite a few different things you could try, but you can imagine that yourself. Just different experiences. Do it on the bus, like when you're sitting in the bus. I used to really enjoy sitting in bus stations or train stations and just close my eyes and sit still and meditate. And I would always have this, like, in the beginning there was a lot of fear. What if someone comes and just smacks me in the face or hits me? Because I'm sitting here, I'm completely vulnerable. No idea what's going on around me. But just being aware to that level in different situations is useful. It's a useful thing to do. So, do you have any plans? Let's see, it's day before. In Sweden, we actually celebrate Christmas tomorrow. So for us, tomorrow is the real Christmas Eve that we celebrate. I think in America you celebrated Christmas Day, right? So that would be the 25th. So you have a little bit more time. Hey, Jim. I got my monkey mind addicted to a song, and now it just sings it back to me instead of talking to me. I had a discussion with someone just recently, and I was talking about this, how when I first started, when I ordained and I was sitting in meditation centers, I'm not sure if I talked about it, but I went to the Swedish Ballet Academy, the musical arts program, and I sang a lot before I was in musicals. And as soon as I closed my eyes, I went, I would start singing all the time, because my mind was constantly singing on songs the whole time. And it was, oh my goodness, I just couldn't get it to shut up. It just all the time. And I would try to find, harmonies to the songs. And I would just go through things in my mind. And that took just brute force and a lot of time to kind of calm that down. But the important thing to understand is that it's in and of itself is not really a problem. We divide our awareness. Awareness is not on off. Like it can be on off kind of, but usually it's not. It's kind of divided. So an easier example to understand would be if you're sitting in the car. And you get in the car and you drive and you're driving and you're just like going, and then all of a sudden, whoa, I'm at work. Like, I don't remember driving. I don't remember doing anything at all. All of a sudden you're just at work and you can't remember anything of the road. You were on autopilot. You were lost completely in your thoughts, just lost in some fantasy or idea or anger or whatever you're lost in. That would be quite far to the other side. Then you're really lost in the thoughts that's going on. But then you have the other shift when you're really, really aware of what's going on, and you're constantly feeling everything, and nothing goes by you. Most of the time it's in between. So it's not that you have to be one side and not the other. It's more that you kind of slide down and you stay more present. So if you have a mind that's constantly singing songs and you have that, well, then just try to stay with the breath and stay as focused as you can on the breath and not get too pulled away into the song that's going on in your mind. And that's enough. That's all it is. You just focus as much as you can on your object of meditation, and then you try to let that go, because ultimately that's what it's going to be like for most people most of the time during the day when you're out and about and doing things. It's not that you're going to go around and then either completely lost in your thoughts, or just going zen and just closing your eyes and walking without looking like the whole day. That's not realistic. So it's a balance. It's it's a scale kind of. You slide up and down. So that's not necessarily a problem, Jim, even though I know exactly how it feels like, and it can be so frustrating when the mind won't be quiet. Let's see, Mats. I was wondering if you updated the voice you hear in your head when you read the chat messages after doing the survey interview. I was wondering if you updated the voice in your head. Oh, you mean like that with you? No, I don't feel any... It's... Did I? No, I don't think so. I kind of... one of the nice... No, I would say not. If there's absolutely something that I'm not aware of, but I don't feel a big difference. What's happening is that I've been having interviews with a few people because, as I've mentioned, I'm having I'll be doing a meditation course that I'm developing, and I'm trying to figure out what the best way to make it useful for people is. So I'm doing interviews with people to find out their history, how they came to meditation, what they want from meditation, what they're struggling with, what they find easy, what if they meditated before and they stopped, and what would be like ways to make it so that they would have an easier time to continue meditating. And also to become clearer in my messaging, because everything I do is intuitively. I do it intuitively. Meaning it's not that I have a book that I'm trying to remember, or they said this or they said that. I just feel every answer I say, I try to get out of the way. And I just kind of see what comes up. I have very little control over what I say. Like I just try to get out of the way and then I just talk. And I most of the time don't know what direction I'm going to go with my talk. I just say things. So it's the compounded experience and knowledge that I've gained that's coming out of me. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, the interviews. So one of the difficulties with that is that I can go rambling quite a lot. And I jokingly say that when I have live courses, I lock people in a room and you have to stay there. You can't just get up and leave. Well, you could, but most people don't. No one has so far at least. And they stay in the room with me, so I can go on and talk around like the object that I'm trying to describe, and then eventually will become clear what I'm talking about. But that's not how YouTube works. You have to like that, catch people's attention, show them what you're going to give them, and then make it easier for them to assimilate, which is a good thing. It forces me to be clearer in my communication. So that's also one of the reasons for that. If someone else is interested, I've done quite a few of these so far. I will, because I'll be off for the next 2 weeks, I will do a few more. If you look at, I'll take this first. If you look at my YouTube page, there should be, let me just check. If you go in under About Me, there should be an email address there, my email address. Let me just double check so that it's actually there. Maybe I won't do that. Maybe someone else can do that. If you go in under my email, my YouTube channel and About Me, or like underneath there should be an email address. And if someone is interested in doing an interview with me, then send me an email and I will have a few more slots open. And basically it's just an hour. One of the conversations was almost, was it 3 hours? It was a very long conversation. Very interesting and really fun. Because it's different. When I do coaching calls, usually we have something that we're working with and we're trying to work through that. Here is just me listening, and it gives a different perspective, and I really enjoyed it, all of the conversations I've had. So if someone else wants to do that, then send me an email and I will get a calendar page or something up where you can book times. There will be a few times this Christmas holidays. So yeah, it's in the About page. Good, thank you, Mats. So just send me an email if you're interested, and I will get back to you with some kind of calendar. It won't be tomorrow because tomorrow is Christmas Eve, but after that I'll look into it and I'll send you a link to a page with some times and schedules. And if you want to, it's fun. It's just sharing. It's nothing like special, just a conversation. Let's see, Nicole Bray. I learned this week that one of Leonardo da Vinci's pillars for life was paying attention to the senses. Very interesting. That's exactly what I propose, like pay attention to the senses, and at the same time find enjoyment in the sense, appreciation. I was talking to my brother today actually, and he's also a bit interested, not to the level that I am, but I was trying to describe to him what you do. And I was saying that the main thing is that it's not just enjoying the senses. And when you say enjoy, that's so, like, people just throw around enjoy. But what it really means is just be in a good mood. That's basically what it means. Pay attention to your senses and appreciate the world around you as you're in a good mood. That's everything I do leads to that. So if you can pay attention to your senses and lean towards being in a good mood. You can't force yourself, because being in a good mood is not like, oh, I'm going to be happy. Like, no, a good mood is that it's much wider. It's more all-encompassing. It's not for a specific reason. You just feel in a good mood. So yeah, I like Leonardo. He's a really cool dude, by the way. JVB Martin, I've been thinking, have you ever thought about interviewing people here on your channel? Have you thought about inviting friends or former monks to your channel for the educational channel? Yes, I have. I just haven't done it. I have one guy that I become friends with who is what is his, what do they call them? Chinese feng shui something. No, not feng shui, it's not. It's something else. Taoism? Is it Taoism he is in? He interviewed me one time for his podcast. Really interesting guy, and he has a lot of knowledge and different things. And he actually said that he'd come on my channel, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But yeah, JVB, that's a good idea. I will very likely do that. I'm not used to having conversations like that, but it would probably be very laid back, low key, and just a general conversation about practice and seeing how things differ and what they do, because I do find that there's a lot of interesting things to be learned from listening to other people's way of approaching practice. And most of all, seeing what are they getting from it. Like, you should really look at the people you turn to for learning. Like, are they the kind of people that you would want to become? And that's one of the reasons why I really questioned the Theravadan traditions, because they all walked around like this, and it's where there's a lot of holiness in it, or like worship in it, and which like just doesn't suit me at all. Cool. I'm gonna try to not be too late today, since I have my family over here. But as usual, wait, it is Monday, right? Yes, it should be Monday, so it's a guided meditation. Damn it, I wish it would have been Thursday, it would have been easier. But I'll make it work. Forgive me if I get off track. So what we'll do, for those of you who are new, is that we'll first we have a conversation like this for 5-20 minutes or so. After that, we do the 5-4-3-2-1 method, and it's all about paying attention to your senses, like Nicole was saying. We pay attention to the senses at the same time as we appreciate them, to see how things are really interesting. Like when well, I'll get into that when we go there. And then we lean towards being in a good mood. After that, we sit for 20 minutes. Today is Monday, so we'll have a... I was going to have a tooth pill, throat pill, just in case my throat goes bad. I still have a cold. We'll sit for 20 minutes, and today's Monday, so there will be a guided meditation. After that, there will be a today's short question and answer, not very long. And I'm going to try to not pull it out too long, since it is the day before Christmas, at least. So it's a bit special. So, first of all, we do the 5-4-3-2-1 method. What it means is that we focus on our sense of seeing things, feeling things, touching, hearing, smelling, and tasting. And we say out aloud 5 things we can see, 4 things we can feel, etc., etc. And the whole idea is to stop and be aware of your senses. There's a saying, in the seen is only the seen, in the heard is only the heard. There's no interpretation, there's no evaluation, and I don't mean just mentally, I mean in the way you feel. Technically speaking, it would be like feeling, the way these 2 things feel should be similar. This is a cup, this is a telephone, I know that. Conceptually, I understand that they are different, but that doesn't mean that I need to feel, oh, I want this, or I maybe have lots of aversion towards this, and I probably like a cup of tea. We're trying to get away from the distortion, the pushing and pulling towards the world around you, so that we can experience the world just as it is, because freedom and well, it's called liberation. I like the word liberation much better than enlightenment, because enlightenment gives the idea that you're going to figure something out, that there's some kind of knowledge, that you get something like, oh, I get it. Yes, I have wisdom, and I gained this. Now I'm smarter. No, it's more that you're liberated from this thing that's constantly in front of you, meaning that when you try to look at me, it's in comparison, it's, if you're in what I call non-centricness, when you don't feel a sense of self, it's really the difference between how you see me when I do this, and this is how you look around you the whole time, and then all of a sudden you drop into non-centricness, and it's just, wow, it's so clear, and you can see shapes and colors and textures, you can see the whole face, you see hairs, and for me, I always want to reach out and pet people on the hair, because it's just beautiful. People are beautiful. Everything is just engaging, and it feels solid and still. And a word people say, it's so quiet, and they said, just be quiet, like quiet your mind. I can understand why people say that, but it's a misconception. It's not that you're quiet in the mind, it's that you're not pushing and pulling towards things. You're not having this constant, it's almost like a veil, like a what do you call it, fata morgana, you know, when the air is hot and it comes up and it kind of ripples. It really is that big of a difference when you see the world without the sense of self getting in the way. So we're practicing to just see things as they are. So I'll say 5 things out aloud that I can see, and you can say them together with me. Well, obviously not what I say, but what you see. So I see a white remote. Just look at what you see. Also, don't try to not feel, oh, it's cheap, it's expensive, it's for this, it's for that. Just look at the colors. Look at the way the light reflects off of it. Look at how it bends, the shape, the texture. What kind of texture does it have? Is there a gap? Is it broken? Like, what does that look like? Just look at things. Not the concept of what they are, or like to get a feeling, but just to see all the actual things that it contains. I see a blue IKEA bag. It has a lot of patterns on it, and there's lots of creaks, shadows, highlights, and I can see the structure is very different from the remote. There's a seam. Just become engaged with your senses. I see a sound dampening board. Beautiful. I see a reflection of myself, kind of. Yeah, I think I see myself there. And I see a orange light. And if I look at the orange light, I can see the plastic. I can see that there's like a texture in the plastic, and there's like brightness in the middle, and then it goes out. Really try to be not just, oh, it's there, and then, because what we tend to do is like, oh, there's an on-off switch for a power outlet, and we just go, yeah, I know what that is, and we don't pay more attention. No, really try to go in and look for details. Try to pay attention to your senses and appreciate that it's beautiful the way it is. So I think there was 5 things that I could see. If not, then make up one for yourself. Next, we have 4 things that we can feel. And here it's the same thing. Really try to feel what it feels like. So I can feel my fingers rubbing against each other. And I can feel the coarseness next to the nails. I can feel my nails. I think I burned myself when I made the dinner earlier. Just really pay attention to what does it feel like to feel something. Not, again, going to your other sense, but just focus on this sense. I can feel the cloth on my knees. It's very soft. I can feel the coldness of this metal cylinder and the smoothness. And I can feel next to my eye There's something stuck there. 4 things that I could feel. Now we go into 3 things that we can hear. Same thing here. Try to listen for more details and nuances in the sound that you hear. I hear the wind outside. I hear ticking in the metal of the office that I'm in, outside. I hear a car engine revving outside. 3 things that I could hear. Next we take 2 things that we can smell. This is really a sense we don't use very often. I smell, well now I really smell vanilla from my rooibos tea. Oh my goodness, that smells a lot. It's a very nice smell. Especially when you're paying attention, there's scents all the time. And I smell, what else? I think I smell skin lotion or some kind of lotion. Like an oily smell. Finally, we take 1 thing that we can taste. I can still taste the... I made a really good, long cook. I cooked meat like 7 hours. I still have the flavor in my mouth. The cream. It was yummy. So for this meditation, we'll be focusing on our breath. So I want you to bring your awareness to your breath and start feeling, what does it feel like when breath is coming in and breath is going out. Just start noticing what it's like to breathe. And at the same time, I want you to ask yourself, what would it be like to feel free, to feel relaxed, to feel like there's nothing you have to do, there's nothing you need to prove, nothing you have to figure out or understand. The only thing you need to do for the next 20 minutes is to just observe your breath and see what it feels like when you're breathing in and breathing out. It's the only thing you need to pay attention to. So ask yourself for permission for these next 20 minutes to just let go of anything that you might have been thinking about before that happened to you earlier today or yesterday or last week, or maybe it was even a few years ago. If you're really spiritual, maybe you're even being worried about things that happened, or at least you believe happened in your last lifetime. Just let all of that be for now. You may figure out that what that means and what you should do about it. But for now, just let it be and bring your awareness to your breath. And the same thing with whatever awaits you in the future. Maybe you have a big meeting tomorrow. Maybe there's something that's going to happen next week, next year. Or maybe you have a goal that you need to finish for the next 10 years. Whatever it is, you do not need to think about that right now. You do not need to figure that out. It won't affect your sense of fulfillment or happiness in this moment, right now. Because right now, you and I, we will spend the next 20 minutes just observing our breath as we breathe in and breathe out. There's no struggle, there's no effort. It's impossible for you to fail. In fact, the more times you find yourself drifting away from your observing of the breath, the better it is. Because what raises your concentration is how many times you come back to your object of meditation. Not how long you can stay with it. It's how many times you can keep coming back to your object of meditation. Now, to make this a little bit easier, we'll do a technique where we count our breaths from 1 to 8 and then down again from 8 to 1. And we won't try to force the breath. This is not breath work. We're not trying to breathe in a specific pattern. I won't try to do the yogic breathing today, because if I did, I might fall over. So instead, we're just going to count the breath from 1 to 8 and then down again from 8 to 1. And an important thing to pay attention to is that when you do the counting, it's important that you do it in between the out breath and the new in breath. Because what I noticed when I was sitting and while I was ordained and did a lot of sitting was that my mind always drifted away at a specific point. And that's, if you look at a breathing cycle, you breathe in, and you breathe out, and there's a pause before you again start to breathe in. Little pause turning around, and there's another pause. And in that pause is where we put our counting, because that's where the mind tends to slip in and pull you away in some fantasy or some thought loop that you worry about. So I'll do it together with you one time from 1 to 8 and then down again, and then you can continue doing it by yourself. So breathing in, we breathe in and out. 1. Breathe in and out. 2. Breathe in and out. 3. Breathe in and out. 4. Breathe in and out. 5. Breathe in and out. 6. Breathe in and out. 7. Breathe in and out. 8. Breathe in and out. 9. No, I'm just kidding. 7. Breathe in and out. 6. Breathe in 5. Breathe in and out. 4. Breathe in and out. 3. Breathe in and out. 2. Breathe in and out. 1. Now continue counting your breath from 1 to 8, and then down again from 8 to 1 as you breathe in and out. 1. Breathe in and out. Since it is the Christmas holidays, we tend to focus on being kind towards others. We forgive people for things that have happened. We don't focus on the things that were difficult, but instead we try to have a good time, to accept them as they are. We give them gifts and we appreciate them. In this meditation, I want you to focus on yourself. Many people, when they meditate, have so much judgment, so much criticism, guilt, fear, anger, believing they should be different, feel different, they should experience something different. Maybe they heard someone else experience something and they're not experiencing that. And we tend to put the blame for that on ourselves. I'm doing something wrong. I'm such a failure. Why can't I even do this stupid thing of just focusing on my breath? I must be a bad person. Oh, it's probably because I have bad karma from my earlier life. I must have been a thief or someone who was very terrible. So I want you to give yourself the same kind of appreciation, kindness, forgiveness, acceptance, encouragement that you would give to a small child on Christmas. When you notice that you're losing your awareness of the breath, don't get upset. If anything, you should become happy. It's not about not getting distracted. Everyone gets distracted. Everyone drifts off from their object of meditation. It doesn't matter if you meditated the first time or you've been meditating for 40 years, it still happens. That's not the problem. The difference between a skilled yogi, someone who's meditated a lot, is that they don't get upset. They just come back. Because they know that the kinder they are towards themselves, the more forgiving, the more soft, effortless, and just easygoing they are, and simply start over, the better the meditation works. And concentration in meditation is gained from coming back to your object of meditation over and over and over and over again. And it never stops. You keep on coming back over and over and over again. And eventually, if you keep on doing that, without criticizing yourself, but just, if anything, appreciating that you understood, oh, I haven't focused on my breath for 5 minutes. I was lost in a fantasy. Really good. I just noticed that. Let's get back to observing. Every time you keep coming back, you gain stickiness of the mind, which means that the mind will eventually just stick to your breath without any effort. You will simply be aware of breath happening without having to put your awareness on your breath. It just sticks there. That will last for a while, and then that will stop. And then the next meditation, it might be really difficult to focus on your breath, but eventually will be the same again. It's a long journey to meditate, or to learn how to meditate. But if you can view yourself, your abilities to stay with your breath, or whatever technique you're doing, in the same light that you would a small child on Christmas that you're going to give a present, and how you forgive them for all the crazy stuff they did earlier today, then you're really on your way to becoming a great yogi. To just bring your awareness back to your breath again. And start focusing as you breathe in and out. 1. In and out. as we start to get to the end of the meditation, I want you to give yourself a Christmas present. I want you to look inside and see, would it be possible to move your mood from whatever you're feeling now into being in a good mood, to just feel light, to feel like there's nowhere you need to go, nothing you need to do. You're just sitting here and enjoying yourself. And if you feel that you can't do that for yourself, then it would be the best thing you could give me as a Christmas present would be for you to be in a good mood and just feel what it feels like to be in a good mood. For no specific reason, no outer or inner circumstance has given you this good mood. Simply because you choose to be in a good mood. And allow yourself to feel that way. You can choose to keep on sitting, but if you open your eyes, I recommend you to do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method one more time, but just do one of them. So look at one of the things you looked at before. See if it's easier to stay aware and see the nuances of the object you were observing. Colors, the shapes, the texture, shadows, fractures. And feel one of the things you were feeling before. See if it feels different. Is it more solid? Is it easier to enjoy what you're feeling? Then go to your hearing and see, can you hear something that you heard before? If not, then just take something new. And move on to smelling. Finally, see if you can taste something. If you want to, I'll have a short cup of tea before we finish. Like I said, it won't be too late today because I have family here. If anyone has any questions or thoughts that you have on your mind, you're welcome to ask them. Matt said it's in the About page. Oh, I think that was about my email address. Maybe I mentioned that before. I'll say it again. If anyone's interested in doing a kind of interview or a talk where you get to describe your practice, where you come from, where you want to go, why you're meditating, and we'll have some time to discuss your practice as well, to help with the development of my new course, then send an email, and you'll find my email address in my About page. Matt's counting to 9 in the beginning really cracked me up. Me as well. I had to really focus on not starting to laugh too much. I tend to, people watch me watch comedy sometimes because I just laugh so hard that I'm kind of lying on the floor crying. It really hurts. Like, when you laugh so hard, it's painful. But it goes, we're doing this not to be serious. We're doing this to enjoy life more, to really be in a good mood. And humor, that's a really good way to be in a good mood. So I don't see why we couldn't combine that in the meditation. Thank you, newbie. Mindful, how was it meditating drunk? It was a bit confusing at times because I'm more tired than I normally am, and I'm not as focused. I realize that the drunk mind kind of wanders off a bit more. It's like they say, the mind gets a bit more dull. So yeah, it's probably not a good technique. Maybe you're more relaxed. Maybe there would be circumstances where it would be useful, but I don't really see any big advantage in doing it, except for the experience. I highly recommend you to try it. And I'm not that drunk, just a little bit, just a bit tipsy. See, it doesn't seem like there's any questions. Well, in that case, thank you so much for today. I enjoyed it. And I wish you all a really Merry Christmas, and keep this in mind, like we said today. I said in the end, say much. By the way, thanks again for the nice conversation on Saturday. It was really useful for me, so I hope you found the talk useful for your meditation course. Absolutely did, Mats. Thank you so much for opening up. Now I forgot what I was saying. Being in a good mood. Yes, that's what I was saying. Really ask yourself why you're choosing to not be in a good mood, because you're letting something happening outside or inside make it so that you're not in a good mood. And usually it's a feeling that you let take over. So try to not do that. Try to see that you actually have the power to lean into feeling good. And a Christmas spent feeling good is absolutely a Christmas well spent. I'll see you all on Thursday after Christmas. Merry Christmas, and see you soon again.